Hello and welcome back to Fiercely Blessed, powered by Blessed Bananas. I am your host, Nadine Ramos, and I have the amazing Shay Woods here with me today. You are in for a treat. Shay is a native New Yorker. Holla. She is a brand strategist. She's a philanthropist. She is a mother. She is a wife. And she is a serial entrepreneur. I cannot wait to hear all about that. How are you today, darling?
I am fine. I love it. I love the podcast. Thank you for that intro. I'm so excited to be here.
Yay! Yes. So I want to dive right into it because whenever I hear serial entrepreneur, it always piques my interest. Like, what is that? How does that work? It just sounds like a lot. Just share a little bit about that title in itself.
It is a lot. So at one point, I was an entrepreneur. Then I started branding myself as a lifestyle entrepreneur because I have lifestyle brands. But then I was really trying to think of something that will encompass everything that I really thought. And so someone else called themselves a serial entrepreneur. And I said, that's exactly what I am. I was trying to speak to the magnitude of what I felt I was doing and how that was increasing. Under Wood Enterprises, I have several different businesses. They are related, but somewhat different. My initial business, 5001 Flavors, is a custom clothing company. I started with my then boyfriend, now husband of 15 years, almost 16 years. We just celebrated our 30th year in business. In 1992, we started. So I'm super excited about that. That's the longest business that I have. It still exists. Transformed into Harlem Haberdashery. From that, we did a wonderful brand expansion from a consulting business to a retail store. Our consulting business is probably like our most well known because it's celebrity adjacent. So everybody knows us from working with Beyonce and Jay-Z and P. Diddy and Mariah Carey. We get a lot of really great press. And so it really has allowed us to expand our brands. Not only did we expand to Harlem Haberdashery, continued my serial entrepreneurship, expanded into HH Bespoke Spirits. We have a curated collection of spirits, a rum, a gin, and a vodka. Also continuing my serial entrepreneurship, we expanded to and beverages, and now we have HH Bespoke Water. And so the goal really is to amplify all things Harlem, family, brand expansion, and Wood Enterprises.
I am so taken away by this. This is amazing. First, to hear that you started this in 92 with who's your husband today. That
Yeah.
in itself is inspiring because it's sometimes hard to work with family. Nonetheless, a husband, and to see
Yes.
that you guys have been able to build these brands together shows a strong unity there. So big ups to that, you know?
Well, everyone says that it's difficult, and for me, it's never been difficult. I feel like building a brand is just like raising your family. I mean, you do it for the purpose of creating generational wealth, creating your
Yes.
own economy in your household. So it made sense to me to align my two very important parts of my life, my personal life and my business. We are now more family owned and operated now because my brother and my kids have become involved. And not that we work side by side, we all do very different parts of the business we're
Right.
responsible for. It does take a village to raise a kid, and it takes a village to raise a brand. You know that. You have to have all hands on deck. You need somebody that has like mind and like heart, love of your brand, and understand what you're doing. And so it made perfect sense. And I do wish that more people would view it as a positive instead of a negative.
Yes, I love again everything that you said because it's bringing the family into this vision to leave a legacy and to
Yes.
create that generational wealth. And who better to do that and create it with than your own family? I also have my family business where I had my business before meeting my husband, and he just
Mhm.
came in and helped elevate it. And it is now
Yes.
our family business. And we hope that, like you, we're going to leave that generational wealth to our two little boys.
And they are becoming entrepreneurs themselves because they see you work. I'm pretty sure they have to go to tons of events that they don't want to, but you don't realize that they are learning networking, and they're learning the phrase of business, how to conduct business. Business is not always at a desk, and so they know that. I'm pretty
Right.
sure that my daughter does not want to do exactly what I've done, but she understands the brand that we've built because she has been there to help us build it.
Yes, and it's planting those seeds now at an early age. Like you said,
Yep.
they're seeing the hard work that goes into this. And then obviously they'll get to make their choice later on whether or not they want to keep this going or venture out into something else. The key thing is that they will always recognize hard work. And that's
Absolutely.
so
And
true.
when we think about a lot of the generational businesses that are out there, like the Hilton Hotel,
Hmm.
Paris Hilton is not working at the
Right.
front desk of any hotel, but creating that generational wealth is what we need to do in our Black and Brown communities. We always talk about generational curses, but I
Yeah.
always like to emphasize generational strengths. That's what we're trying to do as business owners, both of us. In
Yes.
our own prospective communities, we're trying to emphasize how Black and Brown people can take nothing and make something. And we need to learn how to monetize that and really create a true transferable business of wealth. And that is really important for me to do in all of my businesses.
Oh, love that. Thank you so much for really sharing that. Also, I know that you mentioned all these brands, these amazing brands. How is it that you're able? I know your family is involved. As leaders, we are very particular with how we need things done and what has to get done, right? Because it's really our vision that we have to explain, portray, and have everyone else buy into, right? They
Yes.
have to buy into our vision. How are you managing all the brands and all those details that go into running successful brands?
Well, I love that you said leader because a leader does not necessarily have to lead from the front. Sometimes you have to lead from the back. And so, what that means is that I have to have my team be able to have their vision recognized and acknowledged. So,
Mhm.
we consider ourselves First Family of Fashion. We are a group of different brands. And so, the goal is to really elevate and amplify each other's brand, but
Mhm.
everyone has their own goal and product and services. So, it really is more collective economics that we
Mhm.
do to help each other. I could not do what I need to do for any of my businesses without the help of my family.
Mhm.
So if my husband is working 5001 Flavors and my brother Kels is helping with Harlem Haberdashery and 5001 with social media, and my son is helping my husband at 5001, and then we help their brands as needed. It really is about collective economics and building a solid brand that helps each other. What I struggle with is having a vision, but being able to pass off some of the to dos and responsibilities to other people. That's just a problem that I have. I still struggle with that today. We've been, like I said, we've been in business for 30 years. And when I started, it was just my husband and I and tailors. We didn't have a publicist. We didn't have an accountant. I didn't have a bookkeeper. You know, as an entrepreneur, you kind of wear all hats.
Mhm.
But the second that I took some of those hats off and gave it to people who are qualified is when the weight lifted off of me, the stress of running a business. My thought was I can't afford to pay this person. But sometimes you can't afford not to pay them. I
Right.
didn't have a publicist until a good 15 years into the business. And it wasn't the publicist that I have now because it didn't work out. So it's about identifying team members that, like I said, are like minded and like hearted, that respect your brand, that are not just there for the payday, but understand and want to grow with you. And so a business is like a baby. You're very protective of who you allow to take care of your brand. And so any entrepreneur, I would say, do what you have to do until you're able to get a professional to help you, because that's when your business will flourish.
Mhm.
Because you can have really specific things that you want to do, but you can't do it because you're doing stuff that you're not qualified to do. Like, I am not qualified to be a bookkeeper. I'm
Right.
not qualified to do my taxes. When
Mhm.
I started, I had to do some of that, and I didn't do it with the best, results because that wasn't what I was trained for. But as I want to scale, I have to also grow my team. You have to get used to one, paying that expense, because it is an expense, but it's worth it because it saves you. And my time is very valuable. So if I'm able to use my time for more leadership and strategy roles, then some of the stuff that I'm not qualified to do, I won't do.
Mhm.
But like I said, I still struggle with this. We were talking, before, and I was like, if I could clone myself, I would,
Yes.
because there's certain things that I only entrust myself to do, but that is not going to scale my business to where I really want to be. And so I have to let go of that. I have
Mhm.
to, let go of that fear and trust the people that I hire or I employ or that want to help or have that skill set to help me. So that's something that I struggle with every day.
Yeah, and that's a real normal feeling as a leader. As you mentioned, it's like our babies. We don't have anything else to fall back on. This is what hard work, blood, sweat, tears, life, years, everything is given to
Mhm.
our business. And so yes, we're very protective over it, but I
Right.
too was in your position where exactly what you said. And I hope people who are looking to scale really take what Shay mentioned, where you cannot scale if you don't grow your team.
Yes.
And you can find yourself stagnant, and that's a very scary place and dangerous place to be.
That is true. I felt my business was small because I was keeping it small. And I
Mm,
was limiting my opportunities by one, not wanting to incur the expense, but two, also not understanding that people are not running their businesses like this. I don't come from a family where I had an entrepreneurship background. So that's
right,
another thing. First generation entrepreneurs are
right,
very different than people that grew up. Like our children will have a different outlook. They will understand what having a team
100%.
and what having consultants and employees look like. When you have a dream and you have only $300 to start your company, you can't envision, that on your profit and loss statement, you're going to have all these expenses that you're going to have to be responsible. But
Yes,
as you grow, as you know better, you do better. And so I'm not the entrepreneur I was 10 years ago. I'm not the entrepreneur I was 5 years ago. And I'm definitely not the entrepreneur that I will be in 10 years, because now I'm really, post COVID, have changed my strategy.
yes,
Um, have went from a local to a regional to a national to an international mindset. Those
yes,
are all different ways to grow your business. It really is about being more strategic with my time, but also my resources if I want to
yes.
scale my business.
And you know what? Strategy always changes, and that's okay. Don't
Yes.
stay stuck on one strategy. It's okay to get another idea and implement it and make shift of whatever that strategy is. And one thing I would like to add is it doesn't necessarily mean we have to always hire in person kind of employees. COVID taught us how to be resourceful with a lot of virtual opportunities. And I believe
Yes.
like our business has been able to scale by outsourcing internationally. The employee reduces their travel expenses, they're working at the comfort of their own home, and there's negotiation there. So you could hire smarter. Times have changed where people are not coming in full time. You can find qualified people virtually who would take a little less, and that
Yep.
can also help you grow your business.
A lot of people are stuck in the old normal. I had a friend during COVID, and she was like, I just want this to be over so we can get back to normal. And I was like, listen,
Keep waiting, girl.
I said, sis, there's a new normal. You have to let go. That did not work for big business, small business, retailers. That didn't work. And so the new normal is very different. So the people that were literally sitting at home during the pandemic and waiting for that to come back, I think those are the people that need to understand the pivot, to be flexible.
Right.
You have to be flexible. You almost have to create your job, because the traditional way of how we were working does not exist. And like I said, it really did not work for a number of businesses, because
Yeah.
just like people were living paycheck to paycheck,
Yeah.
businesses were living jobs to jobs. And so
Mhm.
once that in person, brick and mortar didn't get a customer, how were they able to pivot? I think the best thing about technology is that now someone can be at home and literally fulfill orders out of their home, whereas before they had to have a brick and mortar. So I think technology has been great. I definitely think you have to be flexible. A lot of entrepreneurs are stuck, but I said I was doing this and now I'm doing this. Well, now you just have to lead the audience. Like I did a pivot, I reevaluated. A lot of entrepreneurs don't want to fool people, they tell me, because they changed methods or they changed
Right.
products. And I was like, there's always a way to be flexible and to still be in business.
Yes. That's great advice. Thank you, Shay. Share a little bit about your philanthropy work. I'm curious to hear about that.
So philanthropy is really important. I'm from Harlem. I love Harlem. I love my community. Harlem Haberdashery is located at 245 Lenox, right on the avenue where I grew up. So it really is about paying homage to the legacy, the family, the architecture, the fabric of Harlem. And my brothers Take Care of Harlem is one 501c3 associated with Harlem Haberdashery, and the League is our second philanthropic arm, we like to call them. And our goal really is to give back to the community. We don't want to just be a business that consumes from the community and sells clothing. We want to be able to amplify Harlem. We want to be able to help
Yeah.
future generations. So we do a lot of community work. Our goal really is to invest in our community so that the future generations like us can thrive. We have a wonderful Cool for School back to school drive every year. Where our goal is to get school supplies for 1,000 kids. We do a great distribution event where it's like a community celebration. We have a toy drive. We like to concentrate on teens, so we do like electronic and toy drive because a lot of teens are not really represented. When you think toy drives, people think stuffed animals, but we really try to push electronics and teens for our toy drive. We have a Greener Linux event, which is our community beautification and sustainability project. We have adopted the trees from 110th to
Oh,
125th and clean the flower beds. I mean, the goal is that we can't sell great clothes, but our community is not looking great. So we try to do do things for the
right.
community that are make you look good, feel good, and live good. And that really is what Harlem Haberdashery and our philanthropic arms, Take Care of Harlem and the League, are about. And it's been great. We are family owned and operated. When you step into our store, when you step into our brand, you really do step into our family, and family takes care of family. So it's really important, one, that we are represented as, Black and brown people in our community so that future generations can aspire to be business owners and stay in their community, but also that we love the community. You have to give back. And it really has been wonderful because the community supports us and contributes to our drive and volunteer their time and effort. And I really think those community efforts are not only needed, but a business that makes a profit from the community has a social responsibility to
Ooh,
take care of that.
I
And
love
so
that.
I always
Huh.
tell people, spend your money and support businesses that give back. A social responsibility has been something that has really benefited me because we talked about being blessed. Giving back has also helped me be blessed because I receive new customers, I receive impressions, but I also receive a sense of purpose. And I think making money can be fun and it can be beneficial. So we do try to make sure that our philanthropy is really interwoven with our profitability discussions when we talk about our brand building at my family's businesses.
So beautiful. You made me say yes a few times. That social responsibility is like, yes. And yes, money could be fun and it's obviously needed, but there's something purposeful when we give
Yes.
back to our communities. And to even know that our one initiative in helping with that give back could change that one life, that could
Yes.
turn the mindset of a teen who's about to turn down the wrong path. Your presence, that flower bed, whatever it is, that community outreach, just them seeing the love on the streets
Yes.
could change one life. And that
That is
one,
true.
it just matters. You know what I
Yes.
mean?
I didn't mention also right now actively we're in our college shower initiative, which I love. This is like fun.
Talk to me about
So our college shower initiative, I do another organization. I work with Black Women for Black Girls, but we're also trying to bring that over to the Take Care of Harlem, is where we nominate and select five, right now it's girls from the New York City area, to get a college shower that will allow them to get everything they need to go to college. A lot of us are first generation college attendees and we don't really have the jargon, we don't have the resources, or we don't know what we need. So everything that a young lady needs to feel secure and safe and confident in a dorm, you have to have sheets, you have to have decor, you have to have, certain items to go use, the shared shower. So we give them everything they need to create a successful, nurturing environment. So it's literally a college shower. We throw a party, we register at a local retailer. We're using Target this year. I'm going to mention them because we we are trying to build a great relationship with them.
that.
And it really is about helping a young lady by going into my network and getting my network to help support. Probably this is my 6th year doing it, and some of my young ladies have graduated. And so I'm super excited. And so I'm still keeping contact. I'm a mentor. I help them get what they need for their college shower, but to see them progress and to see them bloom, that is exactly why philanthropy is important, because you are affecting lives and you never know what one good deed does. And so when you said that, I'm like, absolutely, I forgot to mention the college shower. But yes, it is about it's about amplifying and honoring your ancestors and taking care of your immediate, family, creating opportunities for your future family, but also helping the community around you.
I love that. You are amazing. I
Thank
want to
you.
just kind of plug in this morning. I was meditating on my word, and there was a word in James 2, that says, "What good is faith without good deeds?" And it's something like
Yes,
we can have faith, right? Our faith in God. God is serving other people. That's the God in us. And I can see that
yes,
in you, where you have this servant heart to help, and your help is it's really going to make an amazing, it has already made
yes,
such positive change. And I think that's what we're called to do. It's not just about our dreams, our desires, but like you said, that social responsibility. Once we reach that level of like prosperity, that we should be able to give back. And that's the good deed that we
yeah,
are responsible to do as human beings, as daughters of God. We need to
yeah.
be able to pay that forward. So thank you so much for sharing that.
Thank you. And we think about right now we have all these cool terms, philanthropy and give back. And you can just think about, your generations, you growing up, your auntie and your uncle and how they always held it down for the community, always had a place to stay for someone that needed a place to stay or a plate. We've been doing this in our communities, and right now it's just that now we have all these really cool keywords and names. And so when I do help, I do it in honor of my mom Esther, who helped me, my grandmother Ruthie, who was always helping someone. And so unknowingly in our communities we've always had social responsibility, but now since we are able to scale our businesses, it's just on a different level. So I'm super proud to always honor my ancestors and my family. And so I hope that people can, support all of my initiatives. And I'm always looking to support things in the community.
Amen. Last but not least, if you could just share with us what makes you fiercely blessed.
Well, one, I love the name of your podcast.
Thank you.
I love everything that you're doing. I am fiercely blessed because I am a healthy mom of a wonderful, I don't want to say her age because she's about to change the ages. My daughter, Sydney, she's in high school. I love her. She is the joy of my life. That is my most important job. I'm wife to Guy, daughter to Esther, sister to Kels. It's just wonderful. I mean, I'm happy to be healthy. I'm happy to have the opportunities at my business. I'm happy to continue to be an asset to my family. I'm happy to amplify Harlem. I'm fiercely blessed because I'm surrounded by people that are doing great things, that are changing the world, that are keeping people fly, because that's what we do at the First Family of Fashion, but that are also really good humans. I wake up every morning with a very purpose driven mission to leave the world a better place than when I came. And so that really is why I'm fiercely blessed.
All right. Love that.
Yes.
You're the best. Well, it was an amazing time, really just digging into our entrepreneurial roles and community and all the wonderful things that you are doing and all the many hats that you wear. I do pray a special blessing and covering over
Thank
all your
you.
brands. I pray for future employees that God would set them apart even now,
I love it.
specifically for
I'll
you.
take all of that, sis. I'll take all of that.
Yes. And that you would continue to do what you're doing, and that your generational wealth will continue to grow, and that your legacy will be remembered for years to come. And I claim that over you right now.
I
In the
love it
name
and
of
I receive
Jesus.
it. And I love you. And I
Oh,
love
I
you.
love
Thank
you.
you.
Yay.